Alright, let's see. Wonder if anybody can hear me right now. I'm just gonna go with the assumption that I can be heard. I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit. There. Alright, so I was requested that I explain my deck, my vampire deck, which is this one. I named it Evet Sanruhum Benim. For those who don't know what that means, it's Turkish for your soul is mine. But let me go ahead and go into the deck profile. So this is my deck build. Currently running one copy of Vampire Familiar. I mean, you can go do two, some do three, but I do one for the simple fact that it does have the ability to be recycled, if I so choose. But I don't really expand on this card very much, so to me, it's a good one of. So, and then I do two copies of Glow Up Bloom. This is one of my favorite one-star monsters. Not only is it a tuner, but it allows me to search for the level 5 or higher zombies, which I got plenty of over here, but I'm gonna get more into that in a bit. And then I run two copies of Vampire Retainer, as you can see. This one is more so to go for my spells and traps. As you can see, I don't really run that many in there, so that's why I only run two. Then I got one copy of Matt Moeller in there. Also, before I continue any further, the reason why this build is different from the video I posted recently. So just FYI, I thought I'd throw that in there, but I made some little small adjustments before I made this video. But yeah, I got one copy. Hey, Vena. Yeah, so I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here, my man. Because if you have any questions, this will also help this deck profile go by much smoother. So feel free to ask any questions, and I'll answer them right away. But I appreciate you swinging through. So yeah, I have one copy of Matt Moeller for the simple fact that he's a great dump card. You dump him, and if you have level 6 or higher monsters, you're able to special summon him to go for nice synchro plays or any kind of zombie type link plays or anything like that. Just keep in mind that when you special summon him using his effect, you're locked into zombies as long as he's in the monster zone. Then I only run two copies of Unizombie. Keep in mind, only reason why I run two of them, yeah, I could run three, but one, I don't really have the proper UR points, as you can see, and to me, two is pretty much usually good enough for me, especially with how many zombies and whatnot I run. Then I run one copy of Vampire Ghost. Well, I only run one copy of him because, first of all, he takes a lot of resources to use this effect. First of all, you have to dump a vampire card, or dump a vampire card from your hand or face up on the field, which is a card you may need. Because there's been numerous of occasions that I've used him and I was not in a bad predicament to where I had to be careful of what it is that I send to use his effect. And then you send a level 2 or lower from the deck to the graveyard. But to me, he's a good one of for that purpose. Just get whatever I need to go, move on. Then I run 3 copies of Mizuki because, of course, Monster Reborn from the graveyard. So why not? especially since until I get my more like Hela or my Red Eye Zombie Dragon or any of them out, I don't really have many ways to get my monsters back out the grave. So why not run 3? Then I run 2 copies of Vampire Sorcerer. Granted, this is a card that a lot of people don't like to run for some reason. Every time I see a vampire build, this card is not in there, which I don't understand why that is. First of all, he's a 4-star, and 2, it allows. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to Ash Blossom. Give me a sec. I got something for that. So let me finish explaining this Vampire Sorcerer, then I'll get to that Ash Blossom. Okay, so the reason why I run Vampire Sorcerer is because 1, it allows me to tribute summon any of my level 5 or higher, which is without tribute. Okay, so like my Grimson, my Scarlet, Vampire Vamp, all of them, I could summon them without using tributing monsters. Just come right out. So even if it costs us 2, I'm not spending 2 to get them out. It's just banish Vampire Sorcerer, bam, there you go. Which I'm gonna explain more once I get to the higher level monsters. Then on top of that, if he's ever destroyed or by battle or by card effect, that's another search card similar to that of Vampire Familiar and Vampire Retainer. Now, about Ash Blossom. The reason why I don't run Ash Blossom, first of all, besides the fact that I don't like Ash Blossom, because to me she's a traitor. 5-head is the traitor. But because, first of all, a lot of people run them. And then third reason is I really don't have the space to be running Ash Blossom. I used to run, what's the other one? There's another one, the one that I think is Sleepywood and Dogwood, I think it is. Hold on, I think it is. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, this card. So I used to run this card, and the reason being is because of the way my build works. My build is designed to benefit from life point difference, life point gain, things of that nature. I used to run Galaxy Queen's Light in this deck, but I did the change I just made, which when I added Eldritch, I no longer run Galaxy Queen's Light, but there's a reason why I was running that too. So, but yeah, so like I said, I used to run this card for the simple fact that, again, life point gain. It's all about life point gain. This deck is pretty much built around trying to heal and stuff like that. It's supposed to be like a healer kind of deck, built on bloodlust, so to speak. And vampires gain power when they get the blood and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I'm not knocking the fact that Ash Blossom would be useful, but again, I don't have space for this right now because it's mainly supposed to be focused on the vampires and the power of the vampires and the my red eyes. Let me go ahead and continue on, and maybe it might make more sense as the reason why I don't run Ash Blossom. Gozuki, of course, Foolish Burial, that's pretty much a given. I run them at 2 so that way it doesn't really break. Granted, yes, Gozuki has the liability or the capability of being Ash Blossom, so it's usually risky. So that's, again, that's the reason why I try to run more vampires, for the simple fact that, like my card over here, Vampire's Domain. But I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. Then I run 1 copy of Necro World Banshee. I used to run 2, if not 3 of them, because I really wanted to get my Zombie World out as soon as possible. However, there's one thing that I don't like about Necro World Banshee. It's the fact that she has her card effect makes it where you have to make a choice. Either you keep her on the field to protect your zombie world, or you banish her to get your zombie world. But you can't get zombie world from the graveyard with her, which I wish they had that to where you can do that. Or you can banish it where you can get a zombie world from hand, field, or graveyard. But being that it's only hand or graveyard, you run risk of running through them pretty quick. Vampire Crimson, the card that I see a lot of people don't run. Vampire Crimson is my protection in the deck. Similar to that, to those that run Algu Maza. But the difference between the two is that I'm paying life points to protect my monsters with this one, whereas Vampire Mazra has to, you can just banish it and then just special summon it. But the other reason why I like her, besides the protection, is the fact that when I destroy a monster by battle, I can bring them to my side. Notice that I also do not run Fra Yulin. And the reason why I don't run Fra Yulin is because Fra Yulin, much like any other hand trap, can be easily negated with a call by the grave, or negated if she stays in your hand, and thusly it's like, what's the point? Fra Yulin to me is a situational card, so that's the reason why I don't run Fra Yulin. I try to cut down on as many situational cards as possible, though that is very hard to do. So then I have one copy of Scarlet Scourge. I used to run this as a 2-of, but being that I'm trying to cut, what I did was I cut down on how many high levels I have. That's why I only have one of each, because I was running too many high levels, and I was starting to brick a lot. So I just brought it down to one, and if I could get out my my Hela or my Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord, then I can go through it that way. Then I run one copy of Vampire Vamp, and the only reason I run Vampire Vamp, besides the fact that she can snatch a monster as long as they're targetable, but because of the fact that she's a level 7 that I can dump for synchro plays, which is part of the different cards that I run. But I'm gonna explain more of that in a sec. Then I run one copy of Jackal Balan. This card runs in combination with Hela, as well as the fact that it's a good card to interrupt plays from the opponent that likes to go into the graveyard, especially if I have Zombie World on the field. So that's the reason why I run this card. And also any card that is special summoned through Jackal Balan is banished afterwards. So that's the reason why it runs well with Hela. Then there's Vampire Vilde, Vovoid. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering the name, but this is one of my boys, my homies. You know, not only does he, when normal summon, he can special summon 2 monsters from the opponent's graveyard. It allows for synchro play. I mean, not synchro plays. Well, it can't do synchro plays, as well as its seed plays. As well as he's also one of my negates in the graveyard. And the thing that most people tend to mess up when it comes to Vovoid is the fact that when opponents wants to use card effects and it goes to the graveyard, they get baffled when it gets negated because of the fact that it was in the graveyard. But it states, and I quote, you can negate, if it says right here, when a monster effect is activated, while monsters with the same name is in the graveyard or graveyards, you can negate the activation. So even if you use Ash Blossom or something like that, you know, the fact that you use Ash Blossom and it goes to the graveyard, now there's an Ash Blossom in the graveyard, so I can negate it. So, and before I go into my level 9 and 10, speaking of level 8s, there's a reason why I'm not running Doom King. Doom King, first of all, everybody runs Doom King. Not knocking the fact that he's good. He is really good. But the problem is, one, I need Zombie World to even bring out the most of his power. Alright, if I don't have Zombie World, then I have to have a monster on the field that is a zombie to trigger it. And if I don't, then, well, he's basically just special summoning himself if the opponent has a field card and I don't. But he won't activate his effects. Second of all, he's a dead draw in the hand. and I'm trying to cut down on how many dead draws I have in the hand. And then third of all, because of the history between Red Eye, Zombie Dragon, and Beladrock, I wanted to show respect to Red Eyes by not running Beladrock, which is his immortal enemy. So I'm a huge Red Eyes Zombie Dragon fan. Like, I honestly do not believe anybody is more of a fan to him than myself. Probably except Dark Duelist, Dark Arm Duelist. But I don't think anybody is more of a fan than I am. I actually have merchandise with him on it. As a matter of fact, I'm currently wearing a shirt with him on it. So, which I wish I could show it, but I can't. But yeah, I'm not running Beladrock for those reasons. And on top of that, it's mostly supposed to be focused on vampires, so I tried to fit in as many vampires as I possibly could. And as you can see, being that this is the last vampire I'm going to be showing until I go to the extra deck, I'm sure you've noticed that my deck is sequential in numbers. So I have my level 9, which is Hela, the mommy zombie. That's what I'm gonna call her, mommy zombie. She's the one that has the massive cakes that can special summon zombies to her side of the field. So that is the reason why I run her. It's either that or Illblood, and I'd rather not run Illblood. Illblood's too slow. And then there's Eldritch, which is my level 10. Now, when it comes to level 10, my level 10, there's a reason why I run that besides the fact that it's Eldritch and he's pretty good, but it's because of not the utility that you can do with him. Again, it goes into my future plays, but I'm gonna get to that in a second. It's kind of hard for me to really, I'm doing the best I can to explain this kind of stuff, being that everything's pretty much revealed right now, so instead of showing it little by little. Then I run 2 copies of Vampire's Desire. Most people run one copy of this card, but I run 2 for the simple fact that it'll allow me to run each of the effects that comes on this card. One, being able to manipulate the levels of the monsters that I send to the graveyard, hence why I run multiple copies of my vampires, like this one or this one, because majority of the time I'm gonna have a need for these levels, and as well as Vampire Vamp for level 7. Like, say for instance, I got Uni-Zombie on the field, right? And I want to go for a level 10 play. But the second monster that I summoned just so happens to be, I don't know, Gozuki or something, right? Or Mizuki. So I can use Vampire's Desire, send Vampire Vamp, now it's a level 7, and now I can go into my level 10 plays. Well, and being that I didn't send being that I didn't send Glow of Bloom, or I'm not using Matt Moeller, like say for instance Uni-Zombie and not Matt Moeller, then I can go into like Baronet or something like that. So it basically allows me to manipulate my levels based on what I still have in the deck. So yeah, but usually the majority of the time it's Grimson I'm sending when it comes to changing levels, because I usually can use this one twice, which goes to 5. Send this one, that's another 5, going to Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord. Next turn, special summon Grimson right back out. So now, with that being said, then that means my Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord now has protection from battle and card effects with Grimson. And then there's Zombie World, 3 copies of that, because quite frankly this card is a huge threat once it hits the field, and it's because it's a floodgate. So why not run 3? Because you're probably going to run through this pretty quick. Then I run 2 copies of Vampire's Domain. Some run 1, but I run 2 for the simple fact that not only does it allow me to spend 500 to do an additional normal summon, addition to my normal summoner set, but it also stacks with each other if I have both of them on the field. So if I just so happen to attack directly with Vampire's Grimson, that's 4,000 life points I didn't gain with both of them on the field. Okay. So let's see. Then run 2 copies of Super Polymerization, which obviously I can't run 3 because it's only maxed at 2. So, and that's pretty much self-explanatory. I would run 2 copies of this. I'm trying to debate on what I would take out for this, but if you feel that if you decide to copy this build and you want to run 2, I would encourage that you run 2. For the simple fact that you got cards like Ash Blossom and other cards that activates in the graveyard, so, and that you want to get rid of. There was a test that I did yesterday that I was trying out, and I wanted to see if it would work with the trap that I'm running, but it didn't work that way, but I'm explaining in a bit. So I'm running 1 copy of Vampire Awakening. Usually I only need 1, especially if I'm able to search for it, just get out what I'm after, because by the time I get around to this, I probably burnt through majority of my deck anyway, so I don't really need this a whole lot. Then there's 2 copies of Dark Sacrifice. This is more for protection. It says when your opponent activates a card or effect that would destroy a card or cards on the field, negate the effect, and send 1 level 3 or lower dark monster from your deck to your graveyard. With Zombie World on the field, this is a great card to protect your Zombie World, especially if it's not being bounced. But this is a good card to protect your Zombie World, as well as send cards like Glow of Bloom to the graveyard, or Matt Moeller to the graveyard for future plays. Let's see. Then 1 Elixir of Scarlet Sanguine for special summoning Eldritch, or if Eldritch is already on the field, then I can get out other zombies as well. Now, what I'm hoping to be able to pull off, what I'm trying to pull off with this combo is, say for instance, I already have enough monsters on the field, but I want to go for my my big play, which I'm gonna be explaining shortly. It allows me to get out Eldritch for my rank 10 plays, actually. So on my rank 10 plays. Then I got 2 copies of Ice Dragon's Prison. I'm kind of thinking of running it at 1. But 2 of is what I'm doing for now. For simple fact that it's a good way to get rid of 4 monsters altogether with these 2. So that's it for the trap cards. Oh yeah, especially with Zombie World on the field, being that all the monsters in the graveyard become zombies, this makes it more useful for, especially against a deck that has multiple types in it. So let's see. Now for my Super Poly plays, Draken Necro and Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord. What's also cool about these, what I like also about this, is the fact that it not only brings the monster down to 0, but it also that it does battle with, but it also creates tokens, which is good for additional plays as well, like link plays and synchro plays and things of that nature. So that's the reason why I run Dragon Necro, besides the obvious reason that people run Dragon Necro. Then there's Eldritch the Mad Golden Lord, because chances are the opponent, as well as myself, is going to have a level 5 or higher monster on the field. So with Super Poly, if I can say for instance I activate this card and I have Super Poly set down, then I can instantly go into a Super Poly play and take one of their monsters as well as my own if Zombie World is on the field, thusly, possibly changing the tide of the battle with that. And what I like about him is the fact that he can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. So that's interesting. Though I wish there was a way to have a monster that protects my monsters from targeting, but I don't think there's any zombies that does that. But if there is, let me know. Then there's the Red Eye Zombie Dragon, Necro Dragon, my boy. The second form of the first form. I I love him due to the fact that he can special summon zombies from either graveyard, and he gains power based on the number of zombies in the graveyard, in either graveyard, which can make him very beefy, especially with Zombie World on the field. So there's that. Then I run one copy of Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. I mainly do this for the negates and the gain of power. Though I have really yet to really summon him, because usually I go for Skeletal Dragon Felgrand, for obvious reasons. Because usually whenever I have a chance to summon this card, I'm usually locked into zombies anyway. So, but he is definitely a good one of to run. But as you can see, like I said, I run Skeletal Dragon Felgrand. Not only because of the fact that he's a level 8, but he's also benefits from Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord special summoning him. So, which is good for him to pop in and out of the graveyard. And he has a similar effect of that, similar to Belladrop. The only difference is it's not upon zombie effect activation. Then I run one copy of Baronade because of obvious reasons. Level 10, 3000 beast stick, negates, destroys, why not? Then I read one copy of Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord because one, level 10, and he's a Red Eye Zombie Dragon, and he can special summon monsters on their opponent's turn to your side of the field. What I don't like about his effect, let me go ahead and explain a little bit more, or comment a little bit more about this guy. Even though I love him to death, don't get me wrong, but what I don't like is the fact that I can't he doesn't have a similar effect to this, where he can special summon zombies from either graveyard, and he doesn't gain power. So you mean to tell me that his previous form can be stronger than this form? That makes no sense to me, but that's Konami for you. But what I also don't like is the fact that he doesn't really protect Zombie World, because at this point he pretty much is Zombie World. I mean, he's the king of Zombie World, so why not? Shouldn't he have an effect that protects Zombie World, or brings out Zombie World or something? But that's just I'm on my idle musings here. It's good. Hold on. Generate field card can combo with Banshee. Hella gets tokens, and then tokens become zombies. Yeah. It can. But the only reason why I don't run the generator field card is because of I'll have to first of all switch this up to find the cards to run both field cards. So that way I could put the Zombie World on the opponent's side of the field and put the generator on my side of the field. So it would take away a lot of what I'm running here already. It's the reason why I don't run it. I mean, it's a good combo. It really is a good combo. But again, that's more resources that I would have to try to fit in here, and I'm trying to keep it at a 40 card minimum. Now, if anybody wants to copy this deck and wants to run more cards in there, that's something they could consider. Hell, some of this they don't even have to take out, just add more cards. But this is just me trying to keep it at a 40 card minimum. But what? Let's see. I already researched set rotation. You said set rotation would lock me? What do you mean? And for those of you joining in just now, I appreciate you coming through to check out what it is that I'm talking about. I really do. What I'm currently doing is explaining my zombie build, especially since it's different from majority of people who run zombie builds, and especially those that wants to claim their deck is god tier. So, but I'm explaining the reason why I run my builds the way they do. If you haven't heard any of my previous explanations, if you have any questions while you're here, feel free to ask them, and I'll go ahead and answer them right here, right now. But this is currently my deck build. It's built for mainly towards to bring out the power of zombies, but also to gain power through its bloodlust mechanics. Let's see. If Zombie World is on the opponent's side face down, opponent doesn't activate Zombie World, you couldn't activate the other field card. Yeah, yeah. See, yeah, that sounds like it will create a situation for me, and I'm not trying to do that just to try out a new play. I'm trying to keep it as simple as possible, but complicated for the opponent. So, let's see, because I want people to be able to have fun with the deck and be able to understand what I'm going with it and stuff like that. So, um, yeah. Let's see. So then I run one copy of Danfear Vampire Sheridan, clearly because of the fact that not only he has a awesome summoning mechanic by using the opponent's monster as well as a level 6. If I control the opponent's monster, it goes right into him. So that means I literally don't have to have 2 level 6s to summon him. And on top of that, he can send. I could target one card. It doesn't even have to be a monster, just one card, and send it to the graveyard. So that also allows me to bypass mechanics that say, oh, if you destroy this card or whatever the case may be, or if this, it bypasses that. So that's why I run one copy of him. It's the same reason why I run one copy of Dengersu. But the other reason why I run one copy of one Dengersu, besides the fact that you can send one card the opponent controls to the graveyard, but also because he has a protection effect. So that he also protects like my cards, like my Zombie World and things of that nature. And then I run one copy of. One more thing about this card. He also gains effects if you special summon him. So that means he would do great with Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord. So if anybody gets rid of him, but you still got him on the field, you can special summon him using him, and you'll be able to send another card to the graveyard. So that's another reason why I run that, because I was trying to look for cards that I could run with him that if you ever special summon the card, then you'll gain an effect. I used to spam Ghost Ogre. I used to run Ghost Ogre in this deck. So, and with Ghost Ogre, it allowed me to special summon it on the opponent's turn, and if they activate anything that I'll be able to use Ghost Ogre on, I can pop it and then, do my thing the next turn, bring it right back out. Because Ghost Ogre works from the hand or field. That's one of the hand traps I would not mind running. I tried to do it with this card, but this card doesn't do hand or field. It's only the hand. And numerous of times I've ran this card, it went against me, and I'm losing half my life points. That's a no-no. So that's why I don't run it. So then I run one copy of Zombie Vampire, not only because he's a vampire, but also just like Sheridan. If I control the opponent's monster as well as a level 8, or hell, it could be 2 of the opponent's monsters. I can use both the opponent's monsters, go right into Sheridan, and they don't even have to be level 8. And he's unaffected by the opponent's monsters unless they were special summoned from the graveyard. So that's awesome. And then being that he is a vampire, he also gains power from Vampire Domain. So if I smack him with 3K, I gain 3K. So that's that. And then on top of that, I can mill the opponent's deck as well as my own, especially summon a monster right out of them. So I think that's great too. And now the one card that stands out from everybody is Revenant's Tarantula. I'm pretty sure some people have been wondering why I'm running this. So when I was talking about my level 10s, the thing that people don't seem to understand about this card, and it's very underrated, is first of all, it says, and I quote, all monsters you control gain attack and defense equal to the difference between your life points and your opponent's. Granted, it does not mean that your life points has to be always higher than your opponent. It could be lower than your opponent. So say, for instance, your opponent is winning, never got hit at all, 8,000 life points. You're down to, I don't know, 1,500. You summon this bad boy, all of your monsters now gain attack based on that difference. And then if you have vampires on the field, this will change the tide. Now, this would basically work better if your life points are higher than your opponent's. Because then what's going to happen is every time you smack your opponent, like say for instance you hit him for 2,000, right? You're going to hit him for 2,000, and with him on the field, you now gain 2,000 additional attack. With both of these on the field, 2 copies of Vampire's Domain, that's 4,000. So that means when you smack an opponent with like Vampire Gripson, you now gain 4,000 attack to all of your monsters. So it's basically a walk in solidarity for your monsters. without even being dependent on your type. So that's the reason why I run this card. And on top of that, he has the second effect where it says once per turn you can attach one seed material from this card. Destroy all face-up monsters your opponent controls with attack less than or equal than this card. So if this monster is already stronger than all of your opponent's monsters, he's pretty much going to blow up the opponent's side of the field of monsters, which allow you to go all out if their monsters all of their monsters were destroyed. And if not, chances are you're still going to be stronger than your opponent. So there's that. But that's the reason why this is actually like my secret weapon move. And what the combo I've done to bring him out is I would have Eldritch, Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord, and then I would sea summon into Revenus, then ditch Red Eye Zombie Dragon Lord. I would use it, get rid of the material for that, blow up the opponent's side of the field, and then he can special summon himself by banishing a monster, zombie monster that you control. The interesting thing is about that part of the effect is that being that you do run vampires, and vampires has the ability to steal monsters as well as Jack of Balan, you can actually use your opponent's monsters as material to special summon him right back out. So that pretty much feeds that. And just like I was talking about with Jack of Balan and Hela, you know, Jack of Balan special summon a monster from the opponent's graveyard. Hela contributed, which thusly it will be banished. You can special summon a monster out your graveyard to your side of the field. Now I run this card. The reason why I run this card besides Link Karibo, which you can run Link Karibo because I used to run that too. But the reason why I run this card is because this card has the ability to protect my monsters. One monster that I control from card destruction, as well as it says that if a monster you control is destroyed by battle, you can special summon it back out. So thusly, I don't have to use more monster material, unlike Link Karibo, to get it right back out. Let's see, because it says when a normal summoned monster you control is destroyed by battle while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon this card. So, and chances are I'm going to normal summon, like him, and this one. This one is going to be a normal or a special. This one might be a normal or special, but this one's preferred to be normal. But if you special summon this card, like another vampire that you can normal summon, so you can use this card effect. And oh, one more thing with Vampire Vamp that I might have missed out. Control a monster, take a monster and equip it with this card. Attack based on the based on the monster that is equipped to it. But if you used to say, okay, you synchro with this card, it would go to the graveyard, you would go into your level 10, but because it was equipped with a monster, it would special summon itself back out. And if you didn't normal summon that turn, you could normal summon. So that's a good one. That could be good place. Oh, I don't think, yeah, it is once per turn. Yeah, this one's per turn. I'm about to say, wow, that'd be cheap. That'd be cheap if you could do it more than once. But yeah, so one copy of Vampire Sucker. I used to run 2 of them, but I replaced it with Savior. Vampire Sucker for the tribute and the fact that I can get a draw from it, but also because it's a Link 2. And then this one, obvious reason, Walking Foolish Burial, which has saved me a lot on many occasions, especially if I manage to dump like Eldritch or something like that. And then there's Yugioh. Now, Yugioh will ruin, I think Yugioh will ruin Runics. They definitely hurt Shuinuis for the simple fact that it states negate any activated effects of your opponent's banished monsters. So that means it would even hurt Metaphys, wouldn't it? Yeah. So yeah, any monster that is banished, which you got cards like Jack of Balan and whatnot. Hell, even him. If you use your opponent's monsters to special summon him back out, any monster that is banished from your opponent that was controlled by your opponent cannot activate their effects. And also it states if a monster is special summoned from the graveyard or a monster effect is activated in the graveyard, you can target one other face-up monster on the field, change the attack to 0, and if you do, negate its effects. And it is an indefinite negate. So, yeah. So this is definitely a great addition to run. So, yeah. So for the most part, this is pretty much my build. If you have any questions, I'm willing to answer them right now. Other than that, otherwise, this is pretty much my build. Like, this is the reason why I run it, and again, it's mostly built on trying to emphasize the much out of vampires and their bloodlust, and try to bring out the power thereof, especially with this card. Can I get a quick game in? Sure. Yeah, I can get a quick game in. So let's see. We're gonna go ahead and do a casual duel then. I'm glad they came out with the structure deck, because now I have a structure box for my Red Eyes Zombie Dragon Lord. So yeah, that's awesome. And the fact that it came out as a structure, that means it was a guarantee that I was going to get to what I'm after. Now let's hope I'm not going to get some kind of cheater or something. Okay. Granted, it's not the best hand, but Master Duel is known for giving you horrible hands. Now, see, look what I say. Like, I was supposed to be going first, yet it's sitting there. Like, what is going on here? Like, I'm supposed to be going first. Like, what's going on? Bad connection. This connection is horrible. I hope we can make it through here then. Let's see what we can do. Go ahead and set that. Go ahead and set that. And Matt Moeller, I'm definitely going to want to set because he works best from the graveyard. And if all goes well, I might be able to go right into a level 10. Just with these cards alone. But I have to see what the opponent's running. Yeah, they do. They still have it. I was fortunate to not run across any though, but if I'm not mistaken, they still do have that bot issue. Oh my god, this dude's connection. Ah, crap, here we go. Labyrinth, I should have known. Even in casual duels, I'm starting to see a bunch of them. His connection is going to make this duel seem extra long. I hope he sends that. I hope he does. No, we're not doing that. Now let's hoping that he doesn't have already a welcome labyrinth in the back row, because this might actually change the tide of things. But sometimes when he does, he might actually have that clock. I think it is right. No, he wouldn't have the clock, because if he had the clock, he would have activated it already, so he could activate welcome labyrinth. Wow, Master is really trying to screw me today. It's because I don't have it in my. It's because it's in my hand. That's why. Dang. Okay. I shouldn't have said that then. I should have kept it in my hand. That's what I should have did. Because since it was already in my hand, it works from deck or graveyard. I should have kept that in my hand instead. Because then I could have used the effect of Eldritch to get rid of his field card. Oh, he must be bricking right now. I think he's bricking. I think old boy is bricking right now. Well, let's see if we can turn this duel around then. Here we go. So here's what I'm going to do. Go ahead and summon that. I could put it in defense, but I don't want to. Okay. That happened. Maybe I should have put it in defense. I expected to run a boundless trap hole. Yeah, see, if I would have put it in defense, he would have destroyed it. I would have got a card from it. Then I could have used that to summon Grimson if I didn't get anything else to get out. And Vampire Grimson can't be bottomless, because it can protect itself from a bottomless. So he pretty much got this duel. This is when I was explaining earlier. This is the reason why I said I was trying to cut down on the high levels, because Master Duel has a bad habit of giving you all the cards that's on your top row first, or all your high levels first, and then you're like, what is this? So that's why I tried to cut it down. I brought it down to 1 each. Granted, yes, like Eldritch, it would probably have been beneficial in this case to have run the trap card and run like 2 copies of this in case I get one to the hand like now. Because I could have brought him out in defense after he bombs my vampire sorcerer. And see, fair welcome I think requires a fiend. I think it is. Hold up. Yeah. So if I can get zombie world on the field, if I can get zombie world on the field right off the bat, that's going to already make this card useless because he won't no longer control fiends. But if I get a zombie world next on my next pull, yeah, it's already game. Because I'm about to go and screw because this duel is taking way. This guy's taking way too long with his turn. Oh, it's on me. That's why. Never mind. I should have gone ahead and screwed because he already got me. So that's what? 16, 24, 15, 31. Yeah, he already got me. Let's go ahead and do another duel. I'm going to go ahead and do another duel. So this one is a poor display. That's a poor display. Hey, is everybody doing it today? Like, my God. Horrible connection again. Well, not doing it now. Yeah, it is. There we go. Oh no, don't tell me he's running the water deck. If he's running that water deck, I'm in trouble. Okay. Yeah, he's running the water deck. Oh my God. Okay. Because if he gets that, what is it, like Ryushin, Kenshin, something like that? It's the Lord of the Ocean monster, the Lord of the Sea or Lord of the Ocean, something like that. Okay. So he summoned a sea serpent. And he has a fish in here. Yeah, that guy. That guy messes me up every time. Okay, so let's see. I'm gonna set that. Let's see how am I gonna do this. Okay. First of all, I need to set up my defense there. And an Ash Blossom. Whatever. Typical. That's why I was just explaining about Ash Blossom. Everybody freaking runs. Why Ash Blossom had to be freaking splashable? Everybody should not be running a zombie in their deck. Like Ash Blossom negates the very thing that zombies do. It's stupid. Yeah, I'm gonna let him do his thing. Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. Mm-hmm. Okay. I guess he messed up or something. Didn't expect him to take off 2 materials off his own card. Cause now that he did that, now he can't use the 2600's effect, which allows him to yeah, which allows him to bring down my monsters by I think 1,000. So he misplayed. So red versus red, huh? Yes, that's what we're doing. Red versus red. Here we go. This might be interesting. Now let's hope I don't get Ash Blossom. Let's hope I don't get Ash Blossom. And Labyrinth again. Labyrinth again. It's Labyrinth again. Left arm offering. Oh. Ooh, this is good. This is good. This is good. Better not Ash Blossom me. You better not Ash Blossom me, man. I'm gonna be mad. Wonder if he's gonna pop that. Okay, so he doesn't pop that. Okay, cool. Use that. Ditch you. Okay. I don't know why he would do that to that monster though. I think that was a little too early. No, I'm gonna do this one first. That hurts. He really hates my Jack-O-Balan. This guy really hates my Jack-O-Balan. Like you would think you would go after Mizuki. He goes after Jacko. Okay, dude. Okay. Fine. Like, God dang, man. Just in case he got some kind of destruction crap. Let's see. Hold up. You know what? Maybe I can... You know what? Maybe I can do something else with this. Check. Alright. So let's do this. I'm gonna do that. Alright, come on with my connection. Alright, send you. Then I'm gonna do this. Vampire Retainer. Get my Vampire's Domain. Activated. Come on. Zuki. If you don't activate your effect, you better activate it now. Alright, let's go. He probably got a... I swear to God, if he got a Mirror Force that busts it all back, this will make it all of this useless. Nope, that's not going to work. That's not going to work, bro. See, this is what I was just explaining about Voivode. That's what I was just explaining about him. That's not going to work, cuz. You better look, I ain't have two of them on the field because my life points be way higher. And see, now I have the life points to use her effect, no problem. It's gonna cost 3K for me to protect my monsters. But as long as I'm able to gain life points, what's the difference? Guess he's gonna scoop now. Oh, you still gonna try? Okay. You have to tribute the other one. Yeah, that'd be your best bet. Wow. So that's what we're doing. Okay. Punishment is not going to work on me. You can stay there. Okay. Okay. You really think that's going to work, bro? It's in the graveyard, homie. That's not going... Okay. Thank you. Anyway, it's not the best display, but You want me to do one more? Okay. I'll do one more. I'll see how it goes. I'll do one more. Cause right now it seems like it's I'm gonna be going against a bunch of Labyrinth decks, and it's gonna be annoying as hell to do. Labyrinth can be annoying. Even though I run Labyrinth, I have a Labyrinth deck, but they can be annoying to go against. Okay, I could do something with this. I'm glad. Okay, let's hope. No Ash Blossom. Okay, let's do it. No Ash Blossom. Because I'm not doing that yet. I'm not going to go for the Ash Blossom play yet. Just in case he does. No Ash Blossom. Yes. No Ash. Okay, so let's see what we're going to go for. What should we go for? Oh, duh. It's an easy. Alright, so. Okay, didn't do that. Send that. Bring that out. Vampire Retainer. This is the combo I was telling you about. Gonna do that. And this is why I run 2 copies of Vampire Desire. Because I can do 1 of each. Then do that. For that. Send Vampire Crimson. For that. I could go for Baronet, just in case. That's the thing about zombie decks, is the options are endless. Like, you can go for just about anything. And then I'ma stop there. It's not the most fantastic looking play, but But now I have a level 10 on the field. Oh boy, this is gonna be interesting. Oh, this is gonna be a problem. Oh, but he doesn't control another Demonica, so I ain't worried about that. But that's a problem. My next play would be against Fallen of Albaz. And I see this monster alive. And he banishes my Grimson. GG. Yeah, it's GG. And he sat there because he knew I was going to scoop off of that one. He knew I was going to scoop off of that one. That didn't go very well. This is why I was talking about wishing they had zombies that protects your monsters from targeted by card effects. Majority of them protects from destruction of card effects, but they don't protect from targeting, especially targets that also can be banished. So, I'm wondering if I should even do one more. Because I haven't really shown a very good display yet. You can go first or what? Guess not. Looking like I'm probably not going to duel anymore, huh? That's a good question. Usually I prefer to go first, if at all possible, because I don't like going second, because if you go second, if opponent has a good setup, they're gonna pretty much have all their setups before you do. So, and majority of the stuff that I have, especially since I don't run cards like Ash Blossom and whatnot, I don't have a lot of good going second cards. Mine is better if I could set mine up without being interrupted, so like I at least have something, some kind of defense or some kind of setup before the opponent does their thing. However, like the last duel showed, I thought I was be able to have a decent setup, but being that I didn't know what my opponent was running, he ran Fallen of Albaz, and there's nothing I can do against that. So, I mean, that's probably the reason why they run a permanence and stuff like that. But, I mean, you can run a permanence in this deck. Let me see. Hold up. Yeah, showing this deck off again. Like, instead of running this, you can run impermanence. Or instead of running this, you can run impermanence. Because, you know, that's more negates. And that's the reason why I would run more of this. Like 2 more of them. This don't pop up very much. And even if it does, my setup is usually not that great, or the duel is already over before I even get this card. Even though I run 2 of them, it's wishy-washy. It's situational at best. Or I would have the card. Not a whole lot. I have a few, but the weakness, the biggest Harpy. You talking about the Harpy trap card? Oh, you talking about Harpy Feather Duster? Never mind. Yeah, that's one of the things that I'm missing in this deck is I'm missing back row destruction, and I'm weak against back row. Weak against the back row. Like, cause I don't really have cards that really affects the back row too much, outside of Baronet, Sheridan, and Durgurzu. Outside of them, I really don't have a whole lot of back row destruction in here. I should, but vampires themselves, but outside of that field card, don't really go after the back row. Like, they all about defeating the monster and taking control of them. That's basically what they're about. I mean, you see their effects here. Like this one. Special summon 2 monsters out the graveyard. Special summon to your side of the field. Take control of the monster. This one. Take control of the monster. This one. Take control of the monster. This one. Take control of the monster. Like, majority of them is all about taking control. It's all about the monster. It's not so much about that back row whatsoever. Now, granted, I wish they came out with vampires that went after the back row. But look, like, I'll even pull up all the vampires. Like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm probably doing too much doing this, but every single one besides Sheridan, outside of Sheridan's the only monster that will go after the back row. All the other monsters, this one, that one, like all of these other monsters that are here, goes after the monster. It does not go after the back row. The field card is the only other thing that goes after the back. It can go after the back row. This doesn't go. This doesn't go. This one just negates. That's it. But I don't run this card because it's situational. I have to have a vampire on the field. Granted, yes, I do have a lot of vampires on the field. I mean, I have a lot of vampires in this deck. But if I don't control a vampire, it's useless. Just like this card. If I have, like this card, if I have Eldritch in my hand, I can't use this. So, I mean, I'm thinking maybe I should swap out this for this. Because at least I have more of an option. It would seem probably more viable is the word, I guess. It would seem a better option to run vampires. That's what I'm talking about. No Monster Reborn. So, that's what I was just explaining. I have 3 Mizukis. My Monster Reborns. The 3 Mizukis. Hela. Him. And him. Those are my Monster Reborns. Oh, and for vampires, is these 2. These 2 can also special summon as a vampire monster out the graveyard if I control a monster. Just send that monster. It doesn't even have to be my monster. Just because it says it right there in the second effect. Target one vampire monster in your graveyard. Send one monster you control to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the targeted monster. So, yeah, for vampires, these 2 are my Monster Reborns as well as my level manipulation. And what I was explaining earlier about my levels is that I run levels out of all my monsters. I run levels 1 through 10. So, especially my vampires. I run levels 1 through 10. That's the reason why I run Vampire Vamp, because she's my level 7. See, 1, my 2, my 3. He's my 4, 5, 6, 7. There's my 8. I don't have a 9 because there is no level 9 vampire. And I don't have a 10 because there's no level 10 vampire. But, yeah, I run pretty much one of a little bit of every level of vampires. Oh, let me explain this. Reason why I don't run Vampire Grace. I don't run Vampire Grace because outside the extender, you're paying 2,000 life points to special summon it right back out, and for what? Like that could make or break your deck. I mean, make or break your plays. Like if you do that and you don't get any kind of substantial field presence or advantage, you just basically just made your life 2,000 points less, 2,000 points closer to losing. I don't like doing that. Vampire Fascinator could run that. Book of Life is a double-edged sword. I could run it, yes. But again, Book of Life is a double-edged sword. So if I don't have, that's not a first turn card, that's for sure. That's more of a turn 2 card. Because if the opponent doesn't have a monster to remove out the graveyard, I can't use it. Or if I try to special summon my zombie and the opponent ends up like call it a haunted, right? They call it a haunted to their monster, the one that I was going to banish. I don't think Book of Life works because it has to satisfy both special summoning my monster as well as removing the opponents to work. So, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know, comments or whatever. But I believe that's how that works. That's why I don't run Book of Life. Again, I'm trying to cut down on situational cards to where if I try to do something and the opponent responds, then I'm like, shoot. That's why I don't run this at 3. I run it at 2. Because as you saw in the previous duel, I got ashed, and then next thing you know, I just sitting there with a Gozuki and nothing else. Same thing can happen to this. Vampire Ghost. Normal Summon Ghost. I ditch the vampire. I get impermanence. Now I'm sitting there with a Vampire Ghost and nothing else. Like, that's the problem with vampires. This is the problem with vampires. Like, a lot of these cards that they by themselves, they will struggle. That's the reason why a lot of people don't run the vampires, because they don't have ways to get around things happening to them. I did run Red Eye Zombie Dragon, the first form. I did run it in this deck. I had it in place of Vampire Vamp, considering the fact that Red Eye's Zombie Dragon can snatch monsters faster than these guys, because these are after the battle phase. But Red Eye Zombie Dragon can do it during the battle phase. But the reason why I don't run him is, first of all, he has to destroy a zombie. Second of all, I can't summon him right out the deck without Zombie World on the field. And third of all, this is a level 7, so it works better with Vampire's Desire. Excuse me. So, but yeah, like the way they got these vampires set up, for me to come, I mean, it took a lot of work for me to even get it to this point. To at least get some kind of good out of it, because the way that Konami got these zombies played, like they're not, they try to make it to where they're not meant for high levels of play. They're more like for fun, which what mine is mainly for fun. But I do go against high level players with it, and some I beat, some I don't. So it's pretty much like the luck of the draw when it comes to that. So let's see. Lightning Storm. Let's see. Let me see. I think Lightning Storm is, I have one copy of that. I'll probably be better off running that though. Even though it only does face ups, but yeah, because yeah, I mean, if I'm doing it for the monsters, Lightning Vortex will be better because it says destroy all attack position monsters your opponent controls, and if it's an attack position, it's face up. But the only thing is, I have to have no face up cards on my side of the field. That's the reason why I don't run Lightning Storm. I have to have no face ups, and chances are I'm going to have a face up. So thus, this card is useless. I'll be better off running this if I'm after the monster. And it's a rare. Whereas this is an ultra rare. So. But yeah, this is the monster I was thinking of when it came to Revenants, because he has a similar effect. Except this one does it based on defense. This one does it based on defense lower than the attack. This card could be decent in Labyrinth, but it's slow because it's a Gemini. But yeah, this one based on the attack. So, yeah. Any other ones? Any other questions? Like, I know I intended to replace this card, but I forgot what it was. I thought about it yesterday. I remember now. Since I run Matt Moeller, I saw Dark Arm Duelist talking about this too. Let's see, what was it? I must have spelled it wrong. Let's try without the hyphen. There we are. Yeah, so I could run this. I was going to replace especially I was going to replace it with place this with that. Problem I'm having with this is the summon conditions. Granted, I have my play spreader right here, but in this deck I really don't have a way to fit in 6 stars among a bunch of 2 levels. Unless I have both of them, and both of them is going to be banished before I even get a chance to use it. Like, they put a strict summoning condition on this, and that's what I'm talking about. What Konami does, like, they really hate zombies. They really don't want zombies to take a full advantage. Yes, we had the Eldritch run rampant for a while, but look how long they lasted. Before they knew it, hardly anybody's really running Eldritch because they shut them down quick. They do not like zombies being on top. They don't want them to be super powerful because of how much graveyard manipulation they have, and that's why they don't have zombies that protects other zombies from targeting. It's usually themselves, like this guy, and like he protects himself. He protects himself. Um, Even he protects himself. So, like they have the zombies protecting themselves. They don't protect other zombies. I mean, this one protects others, but it doesn't protect from targeting. So, a majority of the decks now in the meta, they're bypassing this part. So, like it's Fallen of Albaz, and then you got the labyrinths with compulse. So it's like what's the point of doing a bunch of protection of destruction when you got other ways to get around it. But anyways, again, more of my idle musings, so I'm sorry if I'm complaining too much, but I'm a big fan of zombies and stuff like that. It's just I wish they would be able to do better. But other than that, yeah, this is my, like I said, this is my build. If you have any other ideas of what you think I could run in it, I'll look into it and I'll consider it, and maybe I'll give it a shot and see how much better I can do with this. Because I am still trying to work on this deck. I've been working on this deck for years. Like just Ash. Okay, let's do it this way. If I was to put Ash Blossom in, where would I put it? Where can I put it in this deck? Because chances are, if I'm running Ash, most likely I'm going to have to run it at 3, because that's what everybody does. They run Ash Blossom at 3. At least, or 2 at minimum. Where would I put it? Because most likely the only other place I could see it is by shrinking my trap count. But then it will make my monsters over 24. And I usually try to run it no more than 24, because then it acts wonky after that. Tough choice, isn't it? One free. Oh, you wonder if I have Ash Blossom? I don't even think I wonder if I even have Ash Blossom. Even though I really hate Ash Blossom, I can't stand that little girl. Yeah, that's all I have. I just had that one, and running Ash Blossom at 1 is better than, is not very good. Yeah. But then, if I have the opportunity to summon the other fusion, then how would I get that out? Because I've already used my 1 super poly. That one I was considering. That's what I mean. It would most likely be in my trap plays, like shrinking my traps to put in like another copy of Called by the Grave. But we'll give it. I'll try it. I'll try it though. since you are making a suggestion and you did come through, you know what I'm saying, you're actually communicating with me and stuff like that, I'll do that. I can honor that. I'll honor that for you. There. You know, it's very rare that I run my monsters at 25. But we'll give that a shot. And it's ultra rare, ain't it? Yeah. I don't have the points to get another one. What else? That's all good. Yeah. I mean, I've been in a tough spot with it too. Like me having, like I said, this one will be the other iffy card because as you saw when I did the duel, I had this and this in my hand. So being I run Eldritch at 1, this is useless unless it's in the graveyard. The only other reason I would run it is because it also no, this ain't the one. I'm thinking of what's that other trap card? It does this. I can't remember what it is. Because it's one that also allows me to get zombie monsters that's banished. Wait, you know what? Hold up. Almost had it. No, you know what? I know what it is. Okay. I think that's it. Yeah, this is the one. Banish one zombie monster on the field, then special summon one zombie monster from the graveyard of the player who controlled it to that field of defense. And if it's in the graveyard, you can shuffle one zombie banished zombie monster into the deck. And if you do, set this card. Yeah, that's the card I was thinking of. But because it would allow me to get my banished zombies back. This one doesn't. So this one is another iffy card. Especially since I have another way to get Eldritch, and that's Glow Up Bloom. So, but I don't like the idea of me putting so much on Glow Up Bloom though, since I only run 2 copies. And this card would do well, but if I do it on my opponent, then I special summon a zombie out their graveyard. But it works well with it will work well with Vampire Sorcerer. I mean Vampire Sucker though. Because if Vampire Sucker is on the field, then the only thing is I wish it turned it into a zombie. Like monsters that is special summon from the graveyard, it also becomes a zombie. That will do well too. The problem with this card is if I don't have Zombie Ward on the field, then it's only me that it affects. So I like to I critical think all my stuff. Like sometimes I think a little too much, but hey, I honestly think I'm doing more than most people because most people just copy somebody else's deck and then don't really think about why it runs that way. As long as it wins. Me, I'm actually critical thinking my deck. So. Anyways, any other questions or anything like that? Otherwise, I'm probably going to just end it here. I mean, there is one card that I was thinking about taking in here. But the problem is with that card, I have to have it sent to the graveyard for it to work, I think. It was kind of this one, but seeing what it does, it says not a player. Nah, I'm not gonna run it. Because I was thinking about doing this so that way it keeps my monsters from also being kaiju. So, besides Zombie World, but this would also work too. You know, anti-tribute. But I'm not trying to hinder myself too. So, anyways, I guess that's about it. If you have any other questions, comments, concerns after this video, feel free to let them know down in the comment section, and I'll respond to you as soon as I possibly can. And if you have any ideas or anything like that, feel free to also let them know. Go ahead and put it down at the bottom as well. And appreciate you coming through to check out the video, to conversate with me, things of that nature, while discussing the deck and tried it out, whatnot. Though granted, the videos wasn't the best, but you know, I did try. I mean, it's Master Duel, so you already can work with what you're given. In the meantime, happy holidays. Y'all be safe out there, and have a great day. All right, and always keep your head up and stay safe out there. All right, take care. It's Master Red Gaming out.